Hi, Jani here from Humans of Kovai, and we have Ms. Apana Sunku, a well-distinguished entrepreneur, fashion designer, jewelry curator, and social influencer based in Coimbatore. She is the chairperson of Weekend Flow, Coimbatore, and vice president at SPCA, Coimbatore. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
You started your entrepreneur journey at a very young age.
Yeah.
16, you took over your dad's business. So that's a very brave yet even, for the young age. So what has that experience taught you about resilience?
Yeah, that's the word. I was just going to say resilience. We were very young, so I think it wasn't a choice. It was more like we were pushed into it. It was just came that the situation was such that it just we had to take it over. So yes, today when I look back, I see yes, it has taught me a lot more maturity at a very young age, lot more resilience, lot more patience, and to pause and take decisions. It has at a very young age. It has molded my life in a very different way.
Speaking of the entrepreneur journey, ma'am, the transition from cotton business to fashion, like what made you?
Fashion, I think, was always there in my blood. Coming from a textile family, like my dad's business was all about saris, and we were into saris. So always that enticed me. I would create my own clothes. Even while in the shop, I would say, "Oh, this bit would look nice." Whenever there's some kind of a damaged sari or said any fabric which is extra, I would convert it into a nice outfit, and it would get lot of appreciation. But that was always there. I kept doing it, and then I continued doing clothes for my children, which were well appreciated. I used to have a separate tailor, and I design it, collect the laces, bits and pieces, and put together. I never knew I had it in me. It just came out. So cotton business again is my husband's business actually, and it's a family business. So when we were in Coimbatore first, of course we had to set up. So I helped him out in that. It was very boring for me. Honestly, I never enjoyed even one day. I just went, okay, just because I had to support him. So the day I realized and I started getting lot of compliments for, I started creating my own blouses and all. And everybody said, why don't you start making for us? I said, why would I make for anybody? I never had that thought in me. But then one fine day, it just happened. Started a boutique, and then after that boutique with my friends, studio happened very seamlessly, where everybody wanted my sense of style. They say, okay, we come to your boutique, we find other stuff. We'd like to wear what you are wearing. We like your style. We like your creations as well, and we like what you're wearing. So it just happened. I started accommodating people, and I just asked them also, what is it that you are like, or otherwise I will do it for you. So when my client gives me an option to do it my way, it is my way. Otherwise, I incorporate their styles also in it, and I would execute it. So that way, it just became my style. Like Aparna has a distinct style for blouses, for clothes. That's what
I have never disagree that you look lovely, but we have a very different style. And speaking of Studio A, it has become a brand for itself. And how do you manage creative satisfaction and commercial success in this field?
I guess it just came naturally, managing many roles right from my young age. Like I would go to the shop, get it opened. Like my college was from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. So morning 10 a.m. to 12:30 is at the shop. Look at the shop work and all that, and 1 o'clock head to college. 5 o'clock again, go home, quickly freshen up, or otherwise just straight to shop again, come back. Right in between, wherever I went was always managed. I think it started at a very young age, and then one day I realized, yeah, nothing is impossible. If you have a will, and where there's a will, there's a way. If you want to accommodate, you can. Like today, you said you want to come by 8 o'clock in the morning. I have another event at 10 a.m. Yeah, it's doable. If you make a little bit of adjustment, little bit of balancing, I think you can. Anything is possible. It's just you have to have the will and willpower to do it.
Given your sense of style and all that, I would like to know, for you, what style means what style is can you give the definition of style from your perspective?
Style is again like beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. It differs from person to person. Somebody might like bold colors, somebody might like pastels and still look great. So for me, if you're able to carry off a particular style, that is your style statement. If you're able to pull off bright colors and purple lipstick like me, which is my trademark, so you can. That is your statement. Whatever you're able to carry off comfortably is your style.
And how do you define fashion and style, and also like the current market,
Yes,
just keep on
yes.
changing the trends and everything.
Fashion, I would say, is very short-lived. The whole purpose today, it's all about fast fashion. Today the style is there, tomorrow it is not there. So it is like you have to catch up with the times. When you're updated, that is your fashion. But people are going back again, back in time. They're coming back to now slow fashion, where it's all about sustainability, recycling, and reusing what you already have. So there was a point when it was I just cannot repeat any outfits. But of late you realize no, you can. It's not that is a kind of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. The fashion is become a pressure statement today. It's too much stress to even dress up for an event. People go shop at an event to wear it for the next event, the next shopping event. So it has become that now. Fashion is today for me. Um it has to be something which you believe in, and which you just like I said, you have to carry it off well. That's all. So you cannot be just see something may look good on you, may not look good on me, but people still wear it. But that's not fashion. It should be something that suits you. Whatever you wear should be able to suit you. If you're wearing bold colors, yes, it should suit you. If you're wearing off-white, so I would say you should balance it with everything. When you dress up in what to say in all types, in all colors, in all shades, when you try it out, it doesn't stand out suddenly. Oh, you're stark. It's so bright, or it's so dull. So when you start balancing everything according to the mood and according to the situation, I think that's where each occasion demands a different sense of fashion, a different sense of style. I wouldn't want to quote someone or this thing. I've never actually copied anyone or such. Whatever comes to my mind when I look at a piece of cloth, I'll just sketch it at that time. It may have been done before. This is that any creation has already been done before. Nothing is new. It has already been done way back. Like 90% or 99% of whatever creations are being done have already been done before.
Even now, Prada has been reviving
Yes,
Kolhapuri.
yes, everything is Kolhapuris are not reviving; they're copying the Kolhapuris. So that's how it is. So we can't take big names and all that. Fashion is, like I said, it's very fast fashion. It is very dangerous, leading to so much of landfilling and all that. I myself am an obsessive compulsive shopper, which is very bad, but I can't help it. So I'm also one among everyone where I can say yes. To be up to date in fashion, you have to contribute to that landfill. But I wouldn't probably start getting more conscious about it. And
But you prefer originality rather than
definitely, I prefer originality because it's always only then you stand out. Why do you want to blend in the crowd? If you want to make a statement, stand out. So do it in your own way. You have your own way of thinking, right? You have your yes, you can. I mean, like I said, nothing's been originated from you. You might have got inspirations from others. So you can take inspirations from others, but create your own fashion sense, create your own fashion style.
Speaking of your work in Fiki Flow, you're the chairperson.
It's Fiki, yeah.
Fiki Flow. Fiki Flow, you're the chairperson of Fiki Flow. So, how do you think the movement has empowered women here in Coimbatore, in and around Coimbatore?
Quickly brief about what is Fiki Flow. So Fiki Flow is a pan-India organization predominantly working for women empowerment. And there are 22 chapters across the country. And Coimbatore chapter is 33 years old. So even though it has been there, it has been a very close-knit and a very niche organization in Coimbatore. It still continues to be the very, very selectively chosen members who are part of it. And the who's who of all the women entrepreneurs of Coimbatore are part of this organization. And we generally Flow is all about empowering women at three levels: at the grassroots level, middle level, and at the corporate level. So we have been doing many programs in empowering women in the grassroots levels. There's a village that has been adopted, Sengottiur in near Anekati, where the tribals have been taught agriculture, supported with irrigation. They've done last year was a borewell was dug there to support with irrigation. So what was a barren land of the tribal land with rocky, what do you call that, terrain, with the help of TN Agricultural University, that land has been made cultivable, and today there's banana and all growing there. It's very very heart touching. That's one thing. And for the middle level, that is for the members and all, this is something which is very very close to my heart. This year we have been doing a Flow Bazaar and Flow Galleria. So Flow Bazaar was started 15 years ago, which was a platform for the women entrepreneurs of Coimbatore to showcase their products and services at a very minimal cost, but with maximum exposure. So our Flow members are very niche members, and those who, I mean, they may not visit other exhibitions, but when it is supported by Flow, all of them do show up. So this year I have revived it. It was not being done for the past 5 years. That was something which is very very close to my heart always. Like, being vocal for local and always support. Like, charity begins at home, empowerment begins from home. Like, what is the point if you cannot support your own sisters at in your own town? So I was very particular about it and made it as my signature event for this year. And we had the district collector come and inaugurate it on. We had it on in the June 28th and 21st, both the days at Subhana Kalyan Mandapam, and it was a fantastic turnout. Like, all the exhibitors were so happy that this kind of a platform has been given. Like, who were exhibiting with us 15 years ago and until 10 years ago, until 5 years ago, it's totally different. So this time was a whole new crowd. We had a whole new bunch of startups, young entrepreneurs as young as 25 who started their entrepreneurial journey and who've been given a first chance to showcase their creativity at Flow Bazaar. And people who visited also, all of them were so surprised that what is this? This is the kind of talent we have in Coimbatore. That's something phenomenal. And if you don't recognize it, how else will we get visibility? So with a minimal charge and with maximum visibility, and this thing, everybody was so happy with the turnout. And we had almost 1,000 walk-ins on the first day, and the second day also was equally good, about 600. So that was one of the, very much talked about event of the town that day. Not only about the thing, it's all about the support that Flow has shown to all the exhibitors. So it's all about living and living, and letting other people grow and empower everybody around you. I believe in empowering everybody. There is enough space for everybody. It's enough space for everybody to grow. Like, you have your own village. It's all about karma and all destiny ultimately. So I felt that everybody has to be given a chance to showcase, and I would love to do the maximum for women empowerment. That is very close to my heart in my FICCI journey, in my FICCI Flow journey. As so far, it's just 3 months since I've taken over, but this is something. And just yesterday, we had a very interesting speaker, Dr. Rakshit Tandon. He's a national cyber security expert. Uh, Also supporting Government of India and many police organizations across the country. So we had a session for our FICCI ladies with him, and it was so mind blowing. It was like an eye opener to everybody, like how unsafe we are in the digital world. So those kinds of programs really give me a high, where I can help our women to upgrade themselves in their knowledge, to also empower themselves with this knowledge. So they were all went back feeling very very safe. At least you're being it is more like a protection. Okay, better late than never. Whatever damage has been done so far is done, but at least now you safeguard yourself. So that is also has been very close to my heart. I've been wanting to do it for the past 3 months, and finally it happened yesterday, and it was very well received. So these two in Flow really have a very special place for me in my heart so far.
That sounds like a great initiative, that too for the current times and other thing.
Yes.
Yeah. I think women should be equipped of like, what is out there.
Definitely, everybody has a great talent. You just have to support for them to come out. There have been at least 4 or 5 of them who've never participated in the exhibitions before. They've only been like selling stuff to friends and all. I just said it's okay. It's only at the worst case scenario, you're only losing that stall money, right? But you're getting visibility. You get so much. Believe me, they were so happy and been thanking. The number of thank you letters that we received from all the exhibitors is like very very phenomenal. Like it has been very very heartwarming and heart touching that we could make a difference. That is all we are expecting. Like if you're an organization for empowering women, I feel we have done our bit there.
That sounds. Dermatology for small in US, and this is not something not many people talk about.
Yes.
So, can you please share your experience in the like what made you like start initiative for that?
So yes, so I was the president of Rotary Club of Coimbatore Smart City 2022-23, and I definitely, like I said, I would like to stand out. I never want to blend in anytime. I was looking out for some kind of a project which is not being done before, or this was one of the suggestions given, in one of the president's manual by saying it was just there. While I was just going through the manual, I saw that. Small animal crematorium, okay, sounds little interesting. I'm not an animal person either, I don't even have pets. But this said, I mean, for me, it's all about doing something. You don't have to be related to it. If you're able to do something good for society, why not? So, this thing caught my eye, and I said, let me try doing this. I'm telling you, this project is just a miracle. From the day I conceived the thought of executing this project, things went like butter smooth. I just connected with the collector. I mean, somebody suggested that, how do we start off? Well, like, where do we think it is a big thing? Like, you need lot of, permissions and government authority approvals and all that. And then I said, why don't you meet a collector? He might be able to give you a solution. So I went in with the collector. I said, sir, we would require, first of all, we need land. So we need, so I approached the then collector, Dr. Samiran, and just asked him, sir, I would like to do this. And if you can support me with the land and the government support, it will be great. And would you believe it or not, Janani? He said, yeah, I'll give you land, just take it. Like, yeah, really? This is, I mean, you giving me the land? I said, yes. SPCA is the Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. So it was dormant for 30 years in Coimbatore, and that year they had revived it. And that day morning, the registration happened. And I happened to be there that day, asking sir for this land. And SPCA has a bit of land, which the collector, as ex officio president for the organization, he has the power to do, grant anything for that association. So he said, take the land, I'll give it to you, start it. And also he supported me so much. The then Corporation Commissioner, Mr. Pratap, and also the Commissioner of Police, Balkrishnan sir, all three of them were part of SPCA as well, and all three of them came together and said, we will support you in, it's such a novel, all of them happen to be animal lovers as well. We will support you in whatever way we can. In fact, the Corporation Commissioner, Mr. Pratap sir, had told us, please apply for Namakaname Tittam. That is a joint venture between the public and private enterprise. And when you do in that, you get almost 50% funding. And he pushed me to do that as well. We had a small fundraiser for the remaining fund, and within 2 months, we had half the project rolling. And the day I just sent out a message, I just sent out a WhatsApp message to some known philanthropists, just friends also, saying that, guys, I'm doing this project, will you support me? I got donations like that on WhatsApp. I've got confirmations of 5 lakhs donation on WhatsApp. Fine, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. So it was like I'm telling you, it was like a miracle, and within 6-7 months, the whole project is constructed and operational. And today, it's about 2 years old, successfully, and it's all sustainable now. We do free cremations for all the stray animals, and supported by, of course, Rotary Club of Coimbatore Smart Cities. It's a project where we are taking the care of the maintenance, and also we are supporting with free cremations for all the stray dogs and cats that come in, and we charge 2,500 for a pet, owned owned pets. So it's been something very, very heartwarming, and the kind of support I received for that, and the kind of responses when people heard about it, like, what is this? Like, how could we even think about it? It is the very first one in Coimbatore district, and it is second in whole of Tamil Nadu. And it has been like, we've been getting calls from across the country, so many people from Calcutta, Mumbai, Pune, Tirupur and Salem, Erode. So many people have come and checked out the place to replicate it in their thing, and we've been also supporting them with the expertise. And so all the permission. It is a cumbersome job, no doubt, to get all the approvals in place. Since we had the government officials, all of them on board with me, it was very seamless, and it just happened. And it's been so touching each time when we get calls, and like, pets today are like family members. People give their family name for their pets. For such a what to say, being who's been so supportive to you for so many years and been like the family, and as a family member, it is the only way to give a decent farewell, a very decent farewell to them, instead of being disposed of in a corporation uh, dustbin. So I think this was the least we could do for it, and I don't know. I feel it is maybe some karma that has made me do. I'm only a catalyst, and there is something which is connected, and I'm still this year also. I mean, today I've been appointed as the district chairman for animal welfare by the Rotary District 3206. The new governor is taking over. Thank you so much. So that is just taking me. So maybe I'm just indebted to these pod friends. I'm just indebted in some way, that I'm just giving back to them in this way.
Is
That's
there
how I
any
feel.
particular, incident you want to share, ma'am, with animal welfare?
Yeah, this is it. The small animal crematorium is my, what to say, my only incident that happened big for me in my animal, animal life, I can say, like, with my animal kingdom. That is the biggest thing that could happen to anybody. I say, I've had people who came up to me and said, we've been trying to do this since 25 years. How could you just do it? Maybe it just had to happen like that. So it just happened. So that is something which is, again, a very, very intrinsic part of my life today. And whatever best I'm able to do, also planning to come up with a temporary rehab center for animals, for all the stray animals. Like Coimbatore is the need of the hour, is an animal shelter which is not there. Hopefully, we try to make it happen also in the next couple of years. At least we should have it rolling.
Basically, people say, like good things take time, but in your case, it's just.
Yeah, I can
opposite.
say that, things are just falling in my lap, and I'm able to execute it seamlessly. So
And people also has come together for a good cause. So it's
yes.
just a contradiction.
I feel if you think, if you want something good to happen, it will happen. You just have to think good things. And if you're genuine about it, they will happen.
And also, congrats on your new feather to the cap.
Thank you. Yes.
So you have a lot of feathers on your cap.
I know, it is like very varied. Some way, one side I'm like fashion, one side there is Rotary, one side there is animals, and one side there is entrepreneurship in flow. So it has been like every day now I wake up, what role am I playing? Other than that, of course, I'm a jewelry curator, and I organize events for designers, and of course, jewelry and fashion designers. So that's another role that keeps me busy. That's my work. But always I've made it very clear, whatever it may be, work comes first. I will not compromise my work for any of this extracurricular activities, if I can call it extracurricular for my life. I've always given my work as my first priority. I run a boutique called Studio A, and I make time for that as well. I want to be there because my clients want me to design their clothes, so I have to be there. So they're actually very patient, very, very supportive to me, that they actually see on social media, are you in town, are you not in town, okay, we'll come and meet you whenever you're there. And they wait for me until I get back, and then we execute their orders that way also. So it's everybody's been very supportive. Actually, Coimbatore has been very kind to me, very very kind to me, and I've had a great second innings of my life. I can just thank God for that and say it's just been nothing short of incredible.
Okay, so fashion designer, entrepreneur, jewelry curator, and also social activist. In this, which title would you prefer, and which title do you think truly defines you?
I've recently discovered this title for myself because people keep asking, what do we introduce you as? What is this? Each, depending on each situation, I would suggest some, okay, fashion. This is what I've been calling myself: fashion designer, jewelry curator, influencer, forgive all that separately. So now I've coined this term as a social entrepreneur. So I hope that also there is a small surprise on that line. Maybe a couple of in few days that will also come out. So social entrepreneur is what I would describe myself, where I'm trying to blend my entrepreneurial skills into my uh, philanthropic life and in my social service. I'm trying to mobilize funds and using my entrepreneurial skills. I'm trying to manage the organization, and in using fashion for my flow friends. In all ways, wherever it is possible, trying to blend all my feathers into one cap.
That's nice, man. We know you're a lover of art,
Yes.
and you have a lot of along your life journey, you played many roles and all that. So think your life's a musical. So what? And we also know that you're a trained dancer. So what would be your opening act of your musical?
Something like Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara.
Great. It's very adventurous for me.
Very adventurous. That's what
Yeah.
it's been now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of sums up all my facets of all the three friends there. Yes, one serious, one fun loving, and one the real naughty. So I have all the sides to it. I love to have fun with my friends. They're really an integral part of my life. My siblings who've been always there for me, very supportive. My children, both my daughters, both of them don't live here, both of them are in Melbourne. Both of them are like my lifelines. And my husband, who's very silently supporting from behind by not interfering in what I'm doing. That is a very big support and always there when I need. So I think, yeah, that I can say Zindagi Na Mile, you only live once. So make the most of it. I also believe in this funda, live like there's no tomorrow. Today, enjoy it and live like it. Today, don't save that new dress for a special day. You bought it today, wear it. After COVID, you don't know tomorrow is there, not there. So just enjoy your life as it comes and just be you. Be unapologetic. You need to be a little selfish sometimes, especially women, and look after yourself also. You've given your bit to your family and everybody. So be happy and live like this so tomorrow. That's all I can say.
In your entrepreneurial journey as well as your fashion journey and your social contribution towards the society, you won a lot of awards. So is there any particular award that you hold close to your heart and why?
I think the very first award that I received is very close to my heart. That is the iRise Most Influential Woman in the Field of Fashion, given by LA Group of Companies in 2016. That's the very first award. It is very close to my heart because obviously every time it's like your first love. You'll never forget it. It is very close to your heart, and that year I think there was no looking back. There was so many awards that after that every year some award or the other was cropping up. So I think that was very lucky for me, and it's very close to my heart. And also one more incident I'd like to share is like I've been, like I said, I'm an obsessive compulsive shopper. So PSR Silks had actually invited me for their Adi sale inauguration. Because I've been so regularly shopping, probably they decided to have me over. And so that was my very first lamp lighting for as a guest of honor. And I think I've been lighting lamps for so many more events as guest of honor and chief guest from so many more fashion events and so many other in other areas also. So I've been invited. I've been really lucky. Like I'm saying, I'm I'm very, very proud to be a Coimbatorian today. I mean, I would call myself, yes, I'm a Hyderabadi at heart, but today I'm a very proud Coimbatorian. So these two, I mean, it's given me the recognition and, taken me to a different level. Like me, an outsider from Hyderabad, I mean, settling down there. Okay, it's been 30 years now, more than 30 years in Coimbatore. But still, how warm everybody has been and received so well, supported and given me this stature and this kind of an importance and this kind of a recognition. It's really feels good. So I think I'll thank Coimbatore and then of course PSR and definitely LA Group of Companies for recognizing and giving my very first award. It's very close to my heart.
I think, like you said, Tanjore always has the way of,
Yes.
making people feel themselves as home.
It's the most hospitable city in the world, I can say. Very, very, very hospitable people and so courteous. That's another thing that comes to my mind for Coimbatore.
It's such an inspiring journey, like whatever you told us, and it's a very beautiful, heartwarming, inspiring journey. That's how I put it.
I feel good like a cup of coffee.
Yeah, a warm cup of coffee in a cozy weather. That's
Pleasure. I'm so glad. I mean, it's really nice of Humans of Kuwait for recognizing me and giving this opportunity to be featured.
Well, it's our immense pleasure, ma'am. And thank you for hosting us here. Pleasure.